Rathmore National School. This is Axiom Mission Control Center. Please call station for a voice check.
Good afternoon, John. Can you hear us?
I hear you loud and clear. How are you guys down there?
So we're honored. You're very welcome. I'm Lucy Travers, the school principal, and with me is Ms. Shane Walsh, the class teacher. The students are all here behind us, and we have Sorrel Klatsko that I'm sure you haven't met, but you are familiar with. So we'll say Tá fáilte rót. You're very welcome to join us. It's an amazing opportunity for the school and for the children. And it's hard to believe, actually, we're talking to you up in the International Space Station.
Well, you know how you know that is only right now. I've only told you that I'm on the International Space Station, right? But I can actually prove that.
Ooh.
That's one of the fun things astronauts always like to do when they first come here is watch something float in front of them, either a ball or their favorite candy. You guys eat candy down there, right? There you go. Good. So how is everyone today?
Good. Everyone's very good, excited. We've been waiting for this for, I suppose, quite a few months now in the planning. All the class, they submitted questions. We had lots and lots of questions, so we've narrowed them down today to, I suppose, about 6, 4 for definite, and maybe if you've time. We're really interested to know, I suppose, your own background and what it's like up there for you.
Sure. Well, I can answer that in any order, but I'm always going to come up with the word fantastic and awesome and unbelievable, right? I grew up wanting to be an astronaut. I was in love with the space race the moment it started. I followed it my entire life. For some reason, I didn't become an astronaut in the first pass through. I went and did other things, which is okay. But now that I'm here, it's an awesome experience. I'm here with a fabulous crew. Dr. Peggy Whitson, one of America's most famous astronauts, certainly has more time in space than any American. And a fabulous crew from Saudi Arabia, Ali Akarni and Rayana Marnawi. So we're here with the Expedition 69 crew that's on board and the Russian crew, enjoying a fabulous week of space science, STEM education outreach, going around the Earth 16 times a day. It's a busy week in space.
And it looks amazing. Just to see what your background there, the tech involved is huge. We can imagine. We're really honored as well that you asked the students in the school to take part in your space art and poetry contest. So all the children entered lovely artworks, and some children entered the poetry contest. And we had a winner. We have a winner in the school.
Well, you did. We can use the word winner, but we had such a difficult time making selections. We chose some of our favorites. We had a long list, but we had limited time up here, so we could not show everyone, unfortunately. But yes, I'm proud to say Rathmore had a chosen piece of art. It was fabulous, or poetry, actually. Art?
Yes, poetry. It's called A Dream Come True. I believe it's going to feature. Yeah, fabulous. I want to introduce you to. Can you see us, John? By the way, because that.
No, I'm sorry. I'm restricted to just this way. You're stuck with just me.
Okay. So I'm just going to introduce you to our 6th class children here in Rathmore, and I'm going to introduce you to their teacher. Shane Walsh. She's here beside me. We're in the classroom and we're all glued to the screen.
Hi, John. Thanks so much. Thanks so much for this opportunity. We've done a lot of learning on space over the last couple of weeks, and we kept a close eye on the launch. And when you guys got to the International Space Station yesterday, and when you joined the other crew up there, so we've a couple of maybe budding astronauts here, maybe in a few years' time.
Yeah, I sure hope so. You know, it was such a fabulous experience all the way around. I'm really happy to be here and share the experience with all of you and your students. It's great. Thank you.
Excellent. We have a few questions. Is it a good time now to take a few questions from one or two of the kids, if that's okay with you?
Yeah, sure. But first, I'd like to get a little drink of water, show you how astronauts eat and drink up here.
That was actually one of the questions.
Okay, well, I'll answer the question now. Here's our little drink bag. Anytime we get thirsty, we go to our favorite water fountain, which is just down the hallway here, past the lab. Oop, that one flew away. I don't know whose that was. Somebody left their orange juice here. I think I know who that was. With these little drink bags, because water floats in space, it gets away from you if you're not careful. And we just stick it in our little water fountain dispenser, push the button, and it fills our little bag up with water. And we can have water, as this says, drinking water, or we can have flavored water. We have a large variety of stuff. The International Space Station partners keep us well stocked here with food, and we can actually make selections before flight of our favorite things to eat and drink. So the last thing we ever are here is thirsty or hungry, that's for sure. So I'm excited to answer some of the questions and try to provide some answers and raise the excitement of space.
Okay, so I'm going to ask our children in turn, and we're going to start off with Sorrel's son, Max Kinsella. Max has his question ready for you.
How long did the training take, and what was the toughest part of your training for this mission?
Oh, wow. You know, I like Max, thanks for the question. I like to think that I've been training my whole life. Since I wanted to be an astronaut when I was 8 years old. About everything I've ever done has been an exciting, fun thing, and I've always imagined myself doing it as an astronaut. But I know what your question actually was. The training at NASA and at ESA and at JAXA in Japan took just about 2 years. It was quite long and thorough. NASA, in order to give us access here to the International Space Station, requires us to learn almost everything about it, in particular safety procedures for emergencies. So it was long. Yeah, it was quite challenging, but I learned to be a good student again, just like you are right now, I hope. So yeah, it was long and challenging, but fun. And certainly now I can float, and it was worth it.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Sean. Next, we have Sean with his question here.
How does this mission compare to your previous adventures and achievements, such as skydives, base jumps, car racing, and cycling across America?
Wow. Thank you, Sean. Nice to talk to you. That's a good question, but so easily answered, I would think. This tops everything. I'm in space. I'm flying 17,500 miles an hour, going around the Earth every 90 minutes. I see a new sunrise and sunset every 45 minutes. I can float anywhere I want to go. I'd show you right now, except it's a very tight area. I'll knock something off the wall, and the commander won't like that. So it's a high achievement for me, and I'm so glad that I put in the time and effort to do it. So it's better than any base jump, better than any car race or cycling trip. We're doing science, and we hopefully are talking to students like you and help them get excited about a future in space in some way. Thank you for the question.
Thank you, John. Next, we have Emily with her question.
What does it feel like to wake up in the morning on the ISS, look out from the window, and look down on the planet Earth?
Hi, Emily. Well, I'll tell you a funny story. My first night in space, 2 nights ago, I went to sleep in one position like this in my sleeping bag, and I tied it to a couple of things to keep me in one spot. But I woke up like this. in a different place, not too far away. A string came untied and I changed position. And it took me a minute to figure out where I actually was. But when I floated over to the window, which is I sleep near a window, and looked out and saw the beautiful blue earth and the clouds, I knew where I was, of course. But it was I sleep well here. There's no aches or pains. You just lay flat in any position you want and sleep. I can show you a little bit right here. I can go to the side. Can you see me still? Like,
Yeah, yes, we can.
I can sleep like that if I wanted to. But so I hope that answered your question, Emily.
It did. Thank you very much. And we have Saoirse now with her question. Okay, Saoirse.
Where on Earth are you landing, and how will coming back work?
We normally splash down. SpaceX likes to bring us down near Florida, either on the East Coast or West Coast. And they do that when the waters are very calm. Sometimes that's at night. So that will be planned here in the next few days when we come back early next week, unless the weather's bad. So we come in since we're traveling forward very fast, we will burn our engines in reverse, which will be like brakes. And those brakes will cause us to slow down and fall, let Earth's gravity pull us harder and harder and slower until we hit the Earth's atmosphere, the upper levels first. And that drag, like when you stick your hand out of a car window, you can feel the wind pushing against your hand. That's what we experience. And that drag then pulls us down. And then when we get down much lower through the clouds, we deploy parachutes and land in the water. And then a boat comes and gets us and brings us a cold drink, I hope.
Excellent. Thank you so much, John. That was one of the mysteries, if you want, that they wanted to know. Have you time for one more, or is there anything else that you guys want to show?
Yeah, I've got time, or I can tell you a little bit about whatever you like.
Okay. Next up. Emil just has one question, and we can see then after that. Come on, Emil, just sit here.
Had you reservations or concerns about taking on such a mission to travel into space given the risks involved? What were they?
Well, Neil, space flight is risky, like a lot of things are, but a lot of people do a lot of good work in the engineering, design, and development and study of how rockets work and what's required to send people to space and bring them back safely. That I have a lot of faith in those people because they do their jobs and we are brought on board to do a job as well. And I know I work hard to do my job correctly. So when it comes to space flight, the world has had 60 years of experience and development with a very good record. So I have good faith in the engineering and development of that. And I'm happy to get on board and go.
Excellent, John. Thank you. And our last question is here. And it's Ella has the last question.
What is the best and worst thing about zero gravity in space?
Hi, Ella. Good question. That's something we ask ourselves here every day. As new astronauts, it takes a few days to adjust to being able to move around efficiently. You still bump into things a lot, so I guess that's the worst thing about microgravity. You come up here, and it's just not the same. Your feet never touch the ground, and you just float. That's also the best thing. So I guess we have to earn that right to enjoy microgravity by a little work in the beginning to experience the trauma of bumping into things a lot. So I'm still learning, but I'm getting a little bit better. So best and worst, same thing.
So, John, they're the questions from the students in the school. We're here in sixth class, and in case I forget, because we're all a bit sort of in awe looking at you up there. Um, if you happen to come to Ireland, we will be most welcome. I extend an invitation to visit Rathmore National School here in County Kildare. Now, the children in this class, they are leaving what we call primary school, and they will be moving on to second level education at the end of June. So it's getting close. Have you any advice or any wishes you'd like to extend? Advice from up there to down here?
Yeah, I sure do. I from my own experience of knowing how much I wanted to be an astronaut or wanted to be a thing, I think, I didn't follow that initially, and I could have done things a little differently. And I've always wanted to do this. I'm very thankful now that I have a chance to do this. But the advice I would think would be everyone at 10, 11, 12 years old has something in them. They feel a voice, I think. They like something a lot. And it's that voice that they should honor. They should listen to that. And as a teacher or a parent, when it becomes evident that their student or their child has a primary interest, that's what they're going to want their entire life. If they don't do it as a career, it'll be a hobby when they're 50. So why not do something that you love for your entire life? So when you feel like you have a vision of yourself, who you know you are, then everything you do should move you in that direction actively, and encourage people, seek help to get answers to how you can be this next thing. So be what you are. Listen to your inner voice and go achieve that, whatever it is.
Yeah, well, thank you, John. That is excellent advice from someone who, I suppose, you have reached your goal at this point. I really like the way you say the sky is not the limit, which isn't in your case, as you've reached your wildest dreams at this point. Before you go, we don't want to delay you. I know you're on a tight schedule. Is there any other little demonstrations or experiments you'd like to share with the children?
Yeah, well, let's see. More of the same. If I have your questions stuck to a tablet here, but I can always do my reading right in front of me. And if I want to read two things at once, I can always read. Microgravity is a fun place to operate. It feels just like Earth, except not, I guess. I could try a little something. I've already shown you a little bit of this, but once I get moving around, it's hard to stop me sometimes. So it's a good picture of my socks and this camera. Two minutes, and that's fun in microgravity.
We can certainly see the difficulties with it, John. One of the requests here, I don't know, is it possible? They said, could you put a little bit of water floating?
I would have to have a towel here for that if I were to do that. So probably not a good idea right now.
No problem. No problem.
We don't want to put you in jeopardy at all. Well, it's been, I said, a real honor for you to, I suppose, schedule our school in, because we're, I suppose, a small school in terms of the world. And I know you've plenty of requests for events and interactions. So we're extremely grateful and honored that you have made this time available to us today. And I suppose the children are all here now, and John can't see us, but he could hear us. So we're going to give you, what we say, a bula bus. Oscuelga here in our language. A big clap for thanks. And we want to wish you I know you have some days left up in the space station. I want to wish you every success with the mission and a safe return to Earth. We have a vested interest in this. We want you to come back and I suppose spread the word that science is terrific. It's terrific for the school, it's terrific for children. And like I said, when you are next in Ireland, because you do have a connection with Ireland, that you are most welcome. We would love to see you to come to the school in person on solid ground, Irish ground.
I look forward to that. Thank you very much. And I want everyone to go out there and achieve their dreams. I look forward to seeing some of you in space someday, I hope.
Yes, absolutely. We'll hold them to it. Okay, we'll say Slán
thank you.
from Ireland and safe return
John.
home. Thank you very much.
All the best. Bye.